Hello, hello, beautiful kindreds. Okay, let's hope it worked. I was struggling a little bit. Okay, yeah, I see it on my laptop. Cool. Okay, so a couple of minor adjustments. See what's in the screen. Okay. Hello, welcome back to my crafting zone. So I am working on the mini Christmas folio journal, which there are two other parts to this so far, where I put together the folio shell using recycled boxes, and then in the very last video I added the fabric and the elastic straps and stuff like that. So we're going to continue working on this project. Planning to do some experimental, creative dyeing of papers and other things like that today. So, and maybe some painting or something like that. So basically creating bases for cards and tags and other components that are going to go into the journal at some point. Now, to preface this with the fact that in addition to this project, I am also making a couple of other Christmas themed projects. So I just want to show those off for a second so that you can kind of understand that I'm not just making stuff for the little one, I'm making stuff for some other projects too. Okay, so that's that. And then I printed off the printables that I will be using in this journal, and I got it backwards. Okay, so these are an assortment of creatives. So these are digital downloads, and I used a number of creatives, and I will link them in the flip through video at some point. I just don't have the time to do that at the moment, but I will link them, and I always link the creatives whose digital files that I use in the posting or the listings for the projects. And so I made these to fit this particular project. So they're sized appropriately. I just have to cut them in half and assemble them. I don't know if that's going to be on screen or not. It might not be. And then I have an assortment of other papers, coffee dye paper, and what I might call specialty paper. This just happens to be like an expense report that I coffee dyed. Some lined coffee dyed paper, and then like a French encyclopedia page that I will cut to size to fit in this journal. So that, I just wanted to show you that because I think the prints turned out really lovely. But let's get down to our fun playtime. So I have some regular paper here. This is just printer paper. And an assortment of inks that I pulled. I'm not so sure about all of these. They might not be the right color tones, but I'm really like, these are probably the two primary ones, and then I don't know, these might be. And then I had inks that I found. This is like a really deep green, kind of a green in between those two, and then like a really bright red. I don't really know how these are gonna function, so we will roll with the punches on that one. And what else do I have? I have food coloring if I need it. And then this is just plain water in this bottle that I'll use if I need it. And then I have some coffee here. So I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but we're about to have some fun. As always with these craft with me's, I do encourage you to truly use this time to make something, whether it's a journal or it's some sort of little project or something like that. But just putting your hands on something, making something, creating something, I'm strongly encouraging that and to use this time to do that. I also have my acrylic paint not too far away. I don't know if that'll make it into this video. It depends on how long I'm doing this with the inks. Okay, so yeah, so as we get into this, I would like to invite you to subscribe if we're not already connected. Please consider doing that. Click like on the video. When I hit 500 subscribers, I'm going to do a giveaway. So it'll be a, you know, some sort of a journal project. And once we kind of get to that point, when I have the 500 users, then, or 500 subscribers, then I will let you know kind of like what that process looks like to win it. Of course, the more participation, the more commenting, the more sharing, will of course, you know, increase your odds or chances of entering. My channel is small enough now that I can pay attention, close attention to my comments, and see folks who come back to support me. So, yay. Yeah, so I bought this food coloring. So this is just like ideas, right? Like these food coloring was the first thing that I did before buying the Tim Holtz inks and oxides, because they're not cheap. And my budget was a little bit smaller. It was more like when I was experimenting with bookmaking and I wasn't sure if I even liked it. And so I didn't want to, you know, spend a whole bunch of money on something I didn't know if I'd liked. So I just bought something cheap. So that's maybe an option for you. Okay, I am going to, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just doing stuff. I want to open this though, because this red feels like the right color for Christmas. So let's see. Maybe I think I'm just going to coffee dye a little bit. Sorry if my head just got in the way. It tends to do that. Just coffee dye a couple of these and leave them off to the side just slightly. Yes, I use a squirt bottle because it it doesn't soak the paper all the way, and so it dries faster. Okay, so we're just gonna like do that, and then I'm gonna just try this out. I don't know. It looks a little light. Again, this is just water. It just looks a little light. Let's see what happens here. Huh. Okay, interesting. Oh. Huh. All right. You know what? I actually kind of like the fired brick. This looks nice. A little water to that. Spread it out. Let me see. Let me put a little water down first because I don't know what's gonna happen. Yeah, it's like weird because like when you start adding water to some of the like the food coloring, sometimes it brings out undertones that are strange that you're not expecting. So oh, okay, that's so crazy. I do like this red, so this is giving more of a brighter red, which okay, I'm okay with it. Might have to use this for my vampire journal. It's kind of a decent, and make it a little darker though for that one. Okay, you're getting quite a pungent. It's getting. The other one is drying a little peachy, which I'm not in love with that. Bit of a mad scientist project here, but let me know down in the comment section what you're working on. Are you working on a journal as well, or are you doing something different? I'd be curious to know what's occupying your creative time. Sorry. I didn't bring my blow dryer, which I sometimes do, or I bake. I bake my like when I do coffee dyed papers, I'll bake them in the oven for a few minutes. I might have to bust out my my hair dryer, my blow dryer. I don't know. Let's stick with red for now, I think. This dude is just, you know, not quite giving what I need, but oops. Oh. holiday plans? Listen, so I actually travel quite a bit for my day job, a lot of road time, and so I'm actually quite pleased and excited about having nowhere to go, at least nowhere far to go. That is pleasing to me. All right. Okay. Well, let's see if we can just get the rest of this. Trying to get some smidgems that are remaining on the board before I wipe it down. All right. Cool. Oh man. Is that how you know you've been busy? Your fingers look crazy. Okay. Let me grab Kelly green is a little bit brighter. Clover is deeper. Green, lime green. Jade. I think jade has a little bit of a bluiness, if my memory serves. Okay, let's see. And then peel paint. And then I don't know how these are gonna respond. If they're anything like this one, it's probably gonna be a little weakness. I think the food dyes will probably work better. I'm just gonna hang it up. Damn. See, this is coming out. This came out a little coral-like. Like a corally peach rather than red. But let's see here. So I actually have some green. I don't remember which. This is the food coloring. I don't know. I don't really remember which one. Oh, I haven't used it in a minute. Okay. Well. Oh, okay. There we go. It's like squirting sideways or something weird. Kind of yellowy. I'm not sure that's working for me. No. Yeah, this is not, to me, working. This, need it darker. Let me see, I don't remember what Kelly green Oh yeah, that should be good. I'm actually gonna do... Oh wow, okay, that's bright. It's a little bright. It needs to be deeper. Like, I feel like this looks like it has some blue in it. Lime green. Let me see what the other options are. Clover. Jade. Let's see. Let's see what we got. That's definitely darker. That's jade. Let's see what it gives. Okay. Yeah. And I don't hate the peel paint coming through a little bit to add a little bit of lightness, you know, just add some dimensions. Okay. You know what? I'm a fan of the jade. I think that looks nice. So let's do a few more of them. The red is drying pink, which I'm not shocked by, if I'm being honest. I had a feeling. So I just might introduce red in a different way to the papers. Think that through a little bit. I'm gonna add a little bit of this. I'm like, all right, I think I'm gonna do a few more papers, green papers, and I like it's added kind of a nice little flavor to it. Let's see what we got to do here. Okay. Okay. And I think maybe we go one more. Maybe? I don't know. Grumbling. I'm grumbling. Yes. Incoherence. Grumbles. Ooh, boo, boo. Wow. That, okay. Interesting. Yeah, you know, for next time, getting some inks that are color palette, you know, getting some more reds. I just don't have a lot of reds. Don't use a lot of reds on the daily, but I do have a vampire journal in mind at some point, and Christmas will inevitably come around again, so I think getting some reds isn't a bad idea. Okay. Okay. I think what I might also be able to do for the reds to add some depth to them is add coffee to them, because remember, these are white papers. They are not coffee dyes. So if I coffee dye them, it might do something. It might be a point of experimentation in the future. Okay, I think we're gonna move forward. I think I might do a little bit of acrylic. And when I say, okay, yeah, I don't know if I do all of this on camera or not, but we'll see what happens. Just kind of want to show you a little bit of the process that goes into making our journals. It does take quite a bit of moving parts and pieces to pull these together, so just wanted to show you a little bit of what goes on behind the scenes here. Okay. That's how you know it's a good crafting day, when your hands are all suspicious. All right. So, this is what I'm gonna paint on, which is a brown paper bag, just regular brown paper bag that you would get from the grocery store. And I just unfolded it, like I took it apart from the bottom all the way apart, as keeping as much as I possibly could. So this is going to be the surface. it actually makes, it's because it's durable, it actually makes a pretty good surface. You might, and I say might because it depends on what you're trying to get, like what effects you're trying to get. But gesso makes it a good surface. Like it's very porous right now, just in its natural state. But adding a layer of gesso does help with that. So I think actually all I can really do for this go around is add the gesso, because then it has to dry before I can actually start painting. So I think I'm going to prepare this by adding the gesso. This is new. I used up, no I didn't. I had. This is gesso too. Use whatever I have left in here, which probably isn't much because I use it. Grabbing some water. We're gonna definitely have to use this. At least not walnut. Okay. And wet my brush a little bit just to kind of loosen it up because it's a little hard and crunchy. And then I'm just going to go through. And I would argue that, it, again, depending on what you're trying to do, it maybe doesn't have to be like a fully covered, you know, base if you don't need that. Like, I'm okay with some brown paper bags showing through. And it also adds some potential depth and stuff to the color, where it is gessoed and where it is not gessoed. So I say just play around with it, because that's what we're doing today. We are just having a little moment here. Yeah, so my intent is to like do this entire sheet because, like I mentioned in the beginning of my video, this is going to be used in the other 2 Christmas themed projects. So that, at least that's the intention. We add a little bit of water. Just so to spread a little bit better. I'm sorry if I'm off the camera. It's hard to always know exactly if I'm where I'm at. All right. I don't have to spend too much resources on this edge because it'll probably be trimmed off anyway. However, these could be used for scraps, you know, little scraps for clusters and stuff. So waste not, want not, my friends. I'm even going to get this bottom piece because these can be used for cards, tags, again, scrap strips and cluster bases and stuff like that. So just to try to utilize the entire thing as much as possible. you add a little water, it'll spread it thinner. Like I said, I don't feel like I need, like, this isn't going to be like a pure canvas or anything like that. So I don't feel like there needs to be 100% coverage. And in fact, it'll probably work better if it's not. If it's a little bit thinner, because then we'll get some variety in our, when we start adding color to it. And then these little rings, like these will be texture. These will serve as texture, so I'm not stressing out about them. Yeah, get the back here as much as we can. Again, not too concerned about it being perfect. Okay. I might get a little bit more on this end. A little bit more up here, I think. All right. Okay, well, where we at? Okay. So I think that is going to be what we're going to do in this video. We'll let this dry, and then we will add some color, some, you know, our reds and greens and things like that. Yeah, so thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you were able to take a moment to make, to craft, to imagine, and I hope that you join me in the future. Subscribe if we're not already connected. Click like on this video. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you're working on, what crafting project you're working on, or what your thoughts are on the project that I'm working on. Yeah, so thank you so much for your time, your beautiful energy, and I look forward to seeing you in an upcoming video. Be well. Blessed be.